Something that I learned about myself was that I'm a lot more open to try new things like new foods or new experiences that I probably wouldn't do at home. But being in this atmosphere with all my friends and being in this amazing country, it's really allowed me to push myself to do things like that. And a highlight for me, obviously Machu Picchu was the coolest thing I've ever done. It's amazing, but it was making all these new bonds, meeting new people, not even just like the people that live here, but all of you guys in my life and in our lives. My path wouldn't have crossed with a lot of you guys, and I'm very glad that it did because I love you guys. And I just know that I've created bonds with people that I'm going to have for the rest of my life.
Something I enjoyed was bonding with all my friends and meeting new people. Something I learned about myself is how much I take for granted back home.
My favorite part of the trip was probably meeting all the new people, like on the floating islands. Like even though I don't speak that much Spanish, like you could understand how nice they were and like what they were trying to tell you. And I think I learned how fortunate we are.
I think one of the cool things on the trip I've discovered is how fortunate I am, as everyone else has been saying. One of the things I kind of learned about myself is that I actually can do things if I keep going, like with the climbing of like mountains and all that stuff, and that I'm more adventurous than I thought with trying guinea pig and being the vegan.
I think the most memorable part of the trip will probably be all the people I met and Jorge just making it a great time for everyone. And I think something I learned about myself is how easy it is to make friends if you're just willing to talk to people.
The highlight of the trip for me was definitely meeting all the new people, and I just kind of learned about how fortunate we are.
The first night when I met everybody that came to the trip that I've never seen at school before and how cool everyone is, I learned that I'm kind of shy like most times, but everyone here is like so sweet, and it was just really easy to like make friends on this trip.
Most memorable moment for me would be probably all the hiking and climbing and like how the altitude affected us. That was really interesting because we don't have that at home. And then something I learned about myself is like if you focus on the moment and not like what's going on anywhere else and just think about where you are, like you can really relax and have a really good time.
Definitely the people that came on it. It was easy to just strike up a conversation with them and make friends with them. I learned that I really like seeing how different cultures are and how different Peru is compared to Red Deer.
Something really memorable for me would be getting to see all those Andes mountains out there and getting just a view, all those beautiful sights and everything. And I think something that I really learned from this trip was that it doesn't take much to be happy. Like looking at all those people on those floating islands is incredible.
Something really memorable for me was seeing Machu Picchu because I'd seen it so much on the internet, and then seeing it in real life was really cool. And then something that I learned about myself is that I'm really lucky to be born in Canada and that I have so much around me.
My favorite moment of the trip was Machu Picchu and meeting and making a bunch of new friends that I never thought I would be friends with. And something I learned was that time is really precious and not everybody can experience the moments that we have experienced, and it's just important to be grateful for what we have and what we can see.
Honestly, would probably have to be right now, because we're all sitting here together, all buddied up, and like we're just reflecting on this awesome trip that we got to do, and it's just so cool to see all these new friendships and bonds that'll last forever. And something that I've learned about myself is to just like live in the moment, and like we haven't had Wi-Fi this whole trip, and I mean, yeah, it kind of sucks, and we all just get to live in the moment and just like look around, and there's a lake in front of us, and we don't have to be on Snapchat and on Instagram.
Everything about the trip was amazing. I'd say like highlight probably Machu Picchu and like just all like the good friends I made. I'm stronger than I thought I was. Like I didn't think I'd be able to walk all the way down Machu Picchu, but like I did.
My highlight of the trip was just seeing how insanely different people in Peru are from Canada, and just seeing how even though they live their lives differently from us and they have simpler or not as much as us, they're still happy. And it just showed me that you don't need Wi-Fi, you don't need toilet paper all the time to be happy. I'm able to push myself more than I thought I could, especially walking up to the Sun Gate and down. Did not think I was going to be able to survive that, but I am still here, so that's a surprise.
Something I've learned about myself is I'm more adventurous than I thought I was. I'm also more tolerant than I thought I was. I'm also more determined than I thought I was.
Today we are going to work not too much.
¡Upa, upa! ¡Hey! I really like the service project. The service project was the best part for me because it feels like we're actually making a difference rather than being on vacation. And I also felt more confident about my Spanish speaking skills. So I feel like I can actually use it in the future and not be frightened to use it.
The highlight for me was when we went to the school where we helped out, like we volunteered for me because it's like being selfless, just like trying to help all these kids that doesn't even have much money to build for their own school.
So my favorite part was definitely the service project, just helping out that family and seeing how happy they were with that finishing product. is that I can really push myself to do things like climbing Machu Picchu.
Today we built a wall out of bamboo for this kitchen.
I learned about myself is that I should be way more grateful at home for what I have, because there's people here who don't have a lot and they're still making the best of it.
Seeing all the diverse culture compared to Canada and Peru, and then going up to Cusco and then seeing all the buildings.
It was pretty difficult to cut it all length and get a system, but once we got a system, we really came together as a team and were able to get it done pretty quick.
Thank you. Elegance. I love to choose my friends or people. For me, the elegance means how to know how to be. Not to dress very elegant or not to have the most elegant friend. It's to know how to be in every place with every people. And you was knowing how to be here in the middle of nowhere and working with just 2 hands. Yeah. And eating with just 1 spoon in the same plate that the little child. And that is very, very elegant. Thank you very much for that.
What do you think? What does it taste like, Riley?
I don't know. Never had it before.
So it doesn't taste like...
It tastes like nothing I've had before.
That guess would be like a drumstick. Yeah, go. Doesn't taste bad, eh? Like chicken and what? Chicken and hot dogs.
She said, do you love me? I tell her only partly. I only love my bed and my mama. I'm sorry. 50 dub, I even tried to tell it on me. 81, nobody crashes to the party. And you know me. Turn the 02 into the 03, dog. With a 40 on it, there be no me. Imagine if I never left the floor.
Moon Gator.
My Moon Gator found all the flowers over there.
The most prestigious job, the most important job is to be that bad cop. Because the other ones are just hanging onto the rope, keeping the crowds from squishing.
Everything was super sweet that we did, like Machu Picchu, but like something that really opened my eyes was just all the cities and towns we visited, because they were like completely different from what we like live in and experience like every day. And that was a really good eye-opener for me. And something that I really learned about myself was I didn't think I was going to be out like as outgoing as I was.
It was nice being in a new country and all, but like just hanging with all your buddies and everything. It was honestly great. I also got to practice a lot of Spanish, like what you don't get to do in class there. Like I actually got to use it, so it was pretty sweet.
I've never went to a different country with all my friends, like from school, so that was cool. And Machu Picchu was cool, because I think that's the first like world wonder I've seen.
Seeing Machu Picchu, one of the world wonders, and something that I learned about myself was realizing how much I enjoyed being in a different culture, experiencing new things and everything.
This has been my favorite trip because of all the freedom that we've gotten, and that has allowed me to learn a whole new spectrum of things. Like if we had like not as much freedom, I wouldn't have learned so much. One thing I learned about myself is that I can find like a positive in everything.
Highlight for me was definitely the floating islands, because it was really cool just seeing a different way of living. And I think I learned that I'm more adventurous than I thought, because I didn't think I was going to eat the guinea pig, but I ended up eating half of it, so.
I think my favorite part is just being in this incredible place with so many amazing people and just making new connections and making new friends, and that was really great. And I learned that I am more capable of things that I thought I was.
The highlight for me was when we hiked up to the Sun Gate and down, which I thought I would die by the end of it. And probably what I learned about not myself but about communities, that we really care about each other, that how everyone was asking how everyone who's feeling sick is, and I think that really bonded us together.
I really enjoyed the few service days that we took part in, because I have never participated in something like that before, and giving back to the community was something that I'll never forget. I learned about myself my willingness to try different foods, because a lot of the meals we've had have not been meals that we've had at home, so I learned that about myself, and I'll take that back to Red Deer.
But today we are going to check. First of all, welcome to the floating community of Peru. The name of this floating island is Corazón del Puma, the Puma's Heart Island. Okay, let me introduce to Claudio. Claudio is the president of this floating island.
Hola, Claudio.
Kamisaraki, Claudio.
Kamisaraki.
Now it's possible to find the part of Totora. Yeah? That's the reason in the map. In the beginning, they were living on the open lake. 600 years ago, Incas found near to this peninsula the rainy season from November to March. Hasta la vista, baby!
Seeing the sense of community that lies within Peru. When we went to a football game, we saw how connected everybody was there just through watching their country play football. And when we went and we saw everybody at the cathedrals or going to any type of religious event, you could tell how strong of a community there is in Peru, and I thought that was really cool and really different to see. And one thing that I really learned about myself is how proud I actually am to be Canadian. I was really happy when someone asked me where I came from and I was able to say Canada. It was a proud thing to say, and I didn't know I would be that proud to be Canadian.
Going to see all the beauties that this country has, like Machu Picchu and the cathedrals, and how everyone was so open and accepting of anyone who came here and wanted to see everything.
Just yell Max and see if he turns around.
He's single, but he started to practice the trial marriage. Okay?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hhhs. We have arrived at Jorge Challenge.
Upa, upa, pa. El Cienciano es el papá. Nunca vaga, ¿dónde está? El Cienciano es el papá. Upa, 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 pa. El Cienciano es el papá.